Right now, a lot of us are losing our jobs. Some people don't even know whether they're gonna go back to the same career they had before because of this pandemic, and that includes barbershops. No, I'm just kidding. Um, it's a lot of things that we're gonna have to kind of learn now as we go into this new phase of this, I would say, social distancing and obviously being more uh, mindful of. Hey everyone, what's going on? What's going on? We're back. We're back. Thank you once again for joining and being part of this. And hope you guys are making your own little experiments and journeys and whatever it is that you like. I like to make videos. I like to play around with it. I'm here every day, trying to inspire, trying to also share some of our ideas and what we kind of forget that we, you know, have. Honestly, and now with quarantine, we have nothing but that. I think everybody has their own everyday needs, right? Some people it's coffee. Some people it's meditation. Some people it's prayer, which is kind of the same thing but different. Maybe it's going outside. I think everybody has their own different thing. For me, I have a couple of them, but lately I've been realizing that you know once you start uh, a habit, or whatever habit it may be, whether it's on quarantine or without quarantine, you stick through it because it's just who you are. It's part of you, right? Um, they always say we're not what we say, but more what we do. I've heard that saying a lot of times, and same thing goes for right now. A lot of us are losing our jobs. Some people don't even know whether they're gonna go back to the same career they had before because of this pandemic, and that includes barbershops. No, I'm just kidding. Um, it's a lot of things that we're gonna have to kind of learn now as we go into this new phase of this, I would say, social distancing and obviously being more uh, mindful of how close you are to other people, how you can affect others, and how this virus is going to change, impact the world. And I've noticed that most of the time, individuals that we kind of are uncomfortable with, how things used to, how things used to be and how they're supposed to be that way all the time, are the ones gonna have, I think, the most difficult time adapting to the new style of living, the new style of way, of life. Um, I mean, for me, I've never, as for me in my experiences, I've never really thought about it. I've lived in New York City all my life, took trains. You're basically in a bundle every single train ride. You go home and go for work, go to work and come back home. So there's something that's a norm. We were always around people. It's never really a distancing social situation. But now obviously it's going to be totally different, and that's something I never thought I would see. I thought that would just be something that's part of being a New Yorker. But now I think it's going to be a totally different life. I know some of my friends that I have bought themselves alternative ways to go to work. Some of my neighbors here have bought their own motorcycles. They never would have wanted to own the motorcycle, especially in New York City. But being that they don't want to take the commute anymore to work, they'd rather have a motorcycle, which is a little bit more faster and convenient to get to work. Obviously, a little more, um, I would say dangerous. But hey, if you go on the safe side, it's still the same thing as a car. With the way about how much parking and obviously a little more quicker to work. But these are things that are changing the perspective. I think not perspective, but our lifestyles. And I'm seeing a little bit of we're changing. We don't want to accept it. A lot of times, I know for me, I like the norm. I like the creature being a creature of habit as we are. But I'm slowly but surely learning that I have certain I would say like rules or habits, and now I have a certain way of doing it. Right. I can give you a quick example. And what really came to me about this was that I'm always a person that for the last 10 years I would say I've always made it a priority to get to the gym every single at least 5 days a week. Try to get to the gym and do some type of workout, maybe you know 30 minutes max, 40 minutes, whatever it may be. And I've always made it a priority, even if I was working. And going to school, if I was working two jobs, I would make it a certain slip in some time in there to get me a workout. It's just something about that mindset, that mental fortitude that I needed. You know, it's like I would say a high, a quick high, and I've noticed that I've done that throughout, whether I was, you know, like I said, I had no time, or whether I had a lot of time. I always try to squeeze in at least 30 to 40 minutes. And during the quarantine, I kind of stay with that as well. And I've noticed that I've always been a hardcore, like I've always been a free weights guy. Like I always want to just get some free weights somehow. And I've had to adapt in the last 7 weeks. I have had no free weights whatsoever near me because obviously the gyms are all closed, and I never really prepared for this because I never thought it would ever happen. So being in New York City, you never really. I know a lot of you that probably live out of state or live in their homes. They have their own homes. They have their own home equipment, and I know some of my friends at the gym, they had the home equipment as well, but they would still go to the gym just because they never really use it in their houses because it was more like a mental thing. They had to go somewhere to do something that's supposed to be at home. And now I think everybody that has home equipment is obviously using it. And the ones like me that never really bought anything because I feel like I'm paying for my gym membership. They have everything there. I don't need to have anything in my home, especially our apartments are not as big as we would like them to be in New York City. Those of you that are not from New York City, it's very limited space. So I didn't feel like I wouldn't want to get anything for gym stuff. And now I'm kind of understanding that the gyms might not be really opening back to normal for a while. So now I'm coming up with a plan to have some type of regimen, back to the regimen, which it's still not going to be the same, but obviously a little bit more closer to what I've used to do than nothing at all. So what I'm saying, I adapted the last 7 weeks and just been doing some home body workouts, some basic workouts here and there with some resistance bands, which is great and all, but I think your body at the same time gets stronger as it goes and it wants to try different things. And I think that's the same way our mind goes, right? Our mind is always growing, which I feel like that's what we always want to read, books that implement new ways of thinking, new ideas, new ways of even seeing the world. Because growing up in a certain environment, I grew up in New York City in obviously a urban environment. My mentality is totally different than somebody that might have grown up in a country environment somewhere really far from the city, a small town where everything is totally different than a big city like New York City. Like we can get lost in here really quickly, as opposed to, let's say, how many millions of people are in the city. So what I've realized is that the same way that I'm making a new plan to try to implement the regimen that I normally have, and I'm figuring out ways and I'm envisioning what I would like to have in my house. The same way I think we envision our own lives, right? And it all starts with that vision. And it could be anything, whatever it is you put in your mind. And this is what I'm picking up most from Wayne Dyer. He's always stating that, and I didn't really, I would say, get it until I realized that I'm envisioning what I would want to have as my own home gym. Like what equipment would I want to have, what would be my go-to exercises that I would be okay with, and obviously minding the space that I can still get a quick workout and still have my routine. And my mind is going forward, envisioning and seeing everything that I would like without even having it in front of me. Same way I did my office here. This is a room. I think it may be, if it's 10 by 10, I think it's a 10 by 12. New York City rooms are really small. But I said, you know what, I want to start my own office. I want to have my own channel, and I want to have something that has, the ability to have all my information in one area, my office space, and all my books and everything that I want to just go in here and make my videos / studio, all in one place. So I think it was all of the vision as well. This wall behind me, I was thinking for weeks of how to get some type of art that can be nice in the office itself and give it some type of, some pizzazz, whatever you want to call it. But everything starts with our visions, our even if you want to say our focus on something. And we often see a lot of things before they come to I would say physically, mentally, physically exist, and that's how I think we can look at life. A lot of things we want, it has to be, I think, envisioned first, um, and how we would want it, how would we need it, or in what way it would come to us. We would never know how it would come to us, like how it's gonna happen. Like I think a lot of the times, things that happen to us, we never really know what's gonna come, but it does happen, but we never really know how. Or it might come to us, and we think it's gonna happen some one way, but it happens another way. It still comes to us, but it's another way. So just having that vision, especially now with this quarantine, what it is that you wanna do moving forward, how you wanna approach it, and envision that. Even though it hasn't not coming to us right now, we're not able to go anywhere, we're not able to visit anything, but start envisioning these things. What it is that you want to do moving forward, how you wanna, you know, take care of yourself, how you wanna take care of others, how you wanna be more maybe proactive, maybe you want to just be and be able to have more time. I think there's a lot of things that we can do now to set us up for that timing. But right now, I think it's just about allowing, making the best of it, and staying positive. That's what I'm trying to do here. So hope you are all doing the same. And thank you for joining me. And stay healthy. And I will see you tomorrow.